Hi everybody, it's Brad Mason, Pioneer Agronomist here in Western Illinois. I wanted to take a quick second here and talk about soybean stand establishment and some of the things I look for and some of the cautions that I want to talk about real quick. It's May 15th and I'm in a soybean field here that was planted right around May 1st, May 2nd. They look good, they're coming up, they're pretty healthy, and I'm pretty pleased with everything I've seen so far. But one of the things I really want to talk about is low population soybeans. A lot of people have been going that way with early planting and then also lowering the populations because we've seen the success of increased yields when we lower those populations. And I'm a big believer of it. I thoroughly believe that there's a yield advantage from lowering those populations on good soils. There's something to that. So I'm out here, like I said, these beans were planted and I'm on a good part of the farm. This field was actually variable rated. It was planted in this spot here on this good soil at 135,000 plants per acre. And when I did a stand establishment and did my stand counts and looked, I'm getting anywhere from 87 to 90% stand, which is good. That's more than enough to ensure I'm going to have a good yield this year if everything goes according to plan. But again, that's on my good soil. So when we lower our populations, oftentimes we think about this spot and we think that, you know what, we were overpopulating and starving some of these plants, so let's lower it and let's only think about this high yielding spot. But a lot of times we have other spots in our farms that we need to think about. Behind me you can see there's some tree lines, and up against those tree lines coming out are some timber soils, some lighter soils that aren't all like this. And those don't perform the same way that these do. So the reason why we variable rated this farm is because when we go over there and you look at your final stands, it's something that kind of amazes me, and it doesn't have to be variable rated. If you have a straight rated field, I urge you to do this year, is go out and do a stand count, not only in the good spots, but also in those bad spots. Because when we go out and you do a stand count in those tougher soils, you'll be surprised at how many beans actually came up, and that may be a factor of why your yields are a little lower. So when we go out and we put 165,000 plants per acre on that spot, what we found is that this year it's not been a tough year for germination, but when I came over and I did a stand count over there, I was finding that our germination success was 65, 66%. That's not optimal, but if I would have lowered my planting population in that spot to 135, I would only got 65 to 67% of those plants. So that's something to think about, is we need to make sure we're giving enough plants in those tougher soils. And the question I often get is, how much does that extra investment cost me? If you do the math across bags and bushels and everything like that, if you increase your population from 135 to 155 or 140 to 160, that 20,000 plant jump, it's roughly 1 bushel is all you need to make for that investment. Oftentimes you make it up here, but over there, all we really want in those tough soils we just want some stems with some pods hanging off them, because over here, when we lower these plants populations, of course we're going to see that plant branch out, get extra pods on it, and hopefully increase our yield. But when we're on those tougher soils, we need to make sure we have enough plants out there, because at some point we just need power plants out there to put the yield on. Everything has looked pretty good this year when I've been looking at soybean plants, and I'm pretty interested to see how things turn out. Thanks for watching.
That concludes this Pioneer Growing Point Agronomy video podcast. Visit our page on Pioneer.com and follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Pioneer for more agronomy insights.